here's what I want from you.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I ran my mouth at the beginning of the program, which I'm paid to do, and everyone enjoys so much. And I said that the court is divided 4-4 between one group that wants an evolving constitution and the other group that wants the intent of the Founding Fathers to rule. Am I oversimplifying this?
I think that's absolutely true. You talk about textualists and originalists, and they are the people who believe that the way the Founding Fathers wrote those words in the Constitution is what they wanted to continue, to be a basis for making laws all the way through the course of history. And liberal judges believe that there is room for interpretation based on the evolution of the country and the changing mores of the country. This person, Neil Gorsuch, this judge who was just named by President Trump, falls into the originalist category, and that is why people say that he does so well on the Scalia-ness test. But I would also just remember that we have seen in cases past with John Roberts, who ended up being the judge who upheld Obamacare, and Souter and Sandra Day O'Connor and others who have been appointed. No, you never know is the point.
You never know.
But he appears at this moment to be a true originalist, and people who know him well and know his work well believe that he's very much like Antonin Scalia.
No, right. And people watching, I mean, they don't know intimately what Anton Scalia was promoting, but you do and I do. And the promotion, and he got very angry, by the way, even though he was friends with Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the progressives. And I asked him that when I had dinner with him. I said, doesn't it drive you crazy that your peers on the court see it so differently than you see it? Doesn't that make you angry? And he goes, no, I don't take it personally. I try to persuade them. I usually fail. And I said, well, but what's better for the country? Is it better to have a vibrant debate on the Supreme Court? Or is it better for the judges to say, you know what, we have a Constitution, it was put into place for a reason, and, you know, we gotta go by that rather than what the flavor of the month is, what the trend of the month is. And I didn't really get an answer from him. I think he was bored with me by that point, and he was looking for breadsticks. But that's the essence of this matter.
It is.
Donald Trump was elected because many of the people who voted for him knew that the Supreme Court, with one more justice in the progressive camp, would absolutely change the face of this nation.
And it's one of the very interesting things to watch here is that Donald Trump may have two picks. When you look across the history of the most recent Republican presidents, you can go George Bush and George H.W. Bush and Ronald Reagan all got two picks over the course of their time there. They all started with sort of a more moderate pick. Sandra Day O'Connor, Souter, and then Roberts. But then when they came back for the second round, they each picked someone who was, you know, even a more stronger originalist, you could argue, in Alito and Thomas and Scalia himself. So he may get two picks. And one of the things to watch here is Justice Kennedy, because now he, who was appointed by a Republican, Ronald Reagan, may decide, there have been some suggestions that he could consider retirement. He's 79, 80, I think 80 years old at this point.
Yeah, he's 80.
And that he might want a Republican president to replace him, which is somewhat, you know, traditional. Ginsburg chose not to do that, and she got some heat for that from liberals because it would have been a moment for that she could have taken advantage of. But Kennedy is, you know, the swing vote, Bill, and so, you know, he'll be watching this very closely to see what people do and to decide whether or not he wants to retire.
Here's my foolish take on this, and again, I'm going to tell the audience that I am not an expert on the Supreme Court. Please understand this. Kennedy's going to stay to mentor Gorsuch. They're friends, okay?
He did clerk
so
for him,
he's not going to quit in the first couple of years that Neil Gorsuch, and again, Neil Gorsuch will be confirmed unless there's something we don't know about him, which to me would be impossible at this juncture, okay? So Kennedy will stay. The person that may not stay is Ginsburg. Now, she wants to, all right? She's 83. She doesn't want Trump to appoint anybody. She's very, very left-wing, perhaps next to Sotomayor, the most liberal judge. She wants to, but with all due respect, Judge Ginsburg has fallen asleep during deliberations. Not all the time, but a number of times. All right? She's 83. So she may go, I would say, before Kennedy goes. I'm almost convinced because Kennedy and Gorsuch are friends. Kennedy's going to take an interest in him.
Could be.
And mentor him as he comes in.
And they have a different legal philosophy, though. I mean, you know, Kennedy has been more of a moderate,
that's all right.
and Gorsuch is more conservative, as we've been discussing. And you know, it really depends. I mean, you know, you look at this period, he may say, I would like, you know, a Republican president, and I don't know if he's going to be there for 4 years or 8 years to take an opportunity, but you know, he may stick around to mentor him for a while.
At this point.
Yeah, it is.
All right, Martha. Thank you very much.